Hello everyone, welcome back to Adventure of a Lifetime. Let's go ahead and continue. Near silence dominated the empty port. Without people, only the gentle sound of the waves echoing into the night remained. Where could she have gone? According to Ryota, Emily boarded the ferry right after leaving her school. So that explained her uniform and school bag. But was she really a runaway? There must be another reason for her to come to this island. Then I remembered what she said on the ferry.
取り戻しに行くの。海に沈んだ大切な宝物を。
Something that sank into the ocean. Was it a real object, or had she been speaking metaphorically? She also said she hated the ocean, but that didn't help. Just getting a bad feeling about the whole situation as I searched around the empty port alone. If Emily was truly looking to hide away from everyone, this would be the perfect spot. It was dark and completely deserted. And again, she fell in. Even with light from the town and moon, the ocean was very dark at night, like the mouth of a deep cave that swallows all light. One careless step and you could fall in, with no way to climb back out. At this hour, there'd be no one passing by to help either. I could only imagine the worst case scenario during my search. Looks like there's someone by the lighthouse. There was a little lighthouse over by one end of the promenade. Over by one end of the promenade. Known as a blue lighthouse, even though the beacon light used is green. In the olden days, Japanese people called the color green blue, hence the lighthouse's name. The lighthouse on the opposite shore is called the red lighthouse, with its name not based on the light used, but on the lighthouse's color itself. And right at its base, a shadowy figure could be seen. A fisherman? I was too far away to know for sure. From their posture, it didn't look like it. Emily! I called out her name and ran toward the lighthouse as fast as I could. I had a really bad feeling about this. The shadow looked like as if it was about to jump into the water. Emily! The shadow turned around to face me. Don't do it!
何なの?
I focused on running as fast as I could to save her. Startled, Emily took a step back. And as luck would have it, a particularly strong wind came to the port. Emily lost her footing. Emily! Her hands came out, reaching for me as I ran toward her as fast as I could. But I was too late. I wonder if our swimming friend will help us. Emily! Her hands clasped together. Emily and I tumbled into the sea. And as she sank deeper, I tried to gather her into my arms, but... Stop flailing around, Emily. Emily thrashed in the pitch black waters as I tried in vain to get things under control. Does she even know how to swim? was trying so desperately to hold on to her, I couldn't make my way to the surface. Which way's up? I could feel both of us sinking, but I lost any sense of direction beyond that. With just a little light, I would have been able to follow the air balls to the surface, but I couldn't see anything. Are we going to die down here? Emily eventually stopped squirming around. But she hadn't calmed down. She just didn't have the energy to resist anymore. Emily! I squeezed her in my arms, trying to tell her not to give up hope. I was certain that she couldn't see my face, and knew for a fact that I couldn't hear her, but I kept sworn she called my name. This time, when she started moving again, she moved her body closer to mine. All I could do now was sink deeper and deeper. But at least we weren't alone, and we could feel a little human warmth right at the end. Sorry I couldn't save you, Emily. I could hear her voice clearly now. I finally get to enjoy at death's door. And now from somewhere above I was gifted Chisa's voice too. Why Chisa's voice? Hi, Chisa. Huh? At some point, Emily and I had floated to the surface. Emily. Her eyes were shut tight as she whispered a final farewell to her parents. Hey, Emily. But you're not dying. We're alive. Both of us. Emily opened her eyes and seemed to understand that she'd been saved, but didn't quite understand where she was. Yeah. Oh, I just realized the music is a really wholesome version of the theme song. I mean, the opening song. How cute. Nope. Pretty sure it's not hell either. Emily's hand pressed into what we were floating on. Hell, I'll give you a hint. It's got a dorsal fin. Between Emily and me, a triangular fin thrust above the waves. She grabbed onto me again. Sure enough, my old friend Finn had come to our rescue. Chill out, you're gonna knock us off. Hi Finn, good to see you again. Yeah, I'm not the one. Look, you've got the wrong idea. Yeah, you got a point. Ryota had arrived to help us out of the water. From there, we all headed back to the cafe together. Emily and I were completely soaked, but with the warm tropical winds, we didn't have to worry about catching our death. Aside from a towel, the only thing Emily really wanted was a good meal. The Ogasawara sisters watched in amazement as Emily devoured dish after dish of my grandma's cooking. Grandma, you got any more? With a sour look on her face, Grandma reluctantly brought out more soup and bread.
飛び込む気がなかったのは分かったけど、家出してきたのは本当なんでしょ？
家出などという目的のない逃避行じゃないわ。
じゃあ何が目的だってのよ。
Emily set down her spoon and looked at Chisa seriously.
トレジャーハンティング。
She returned to her soup, as if those two words explained everything.
何それ？
トレジャーハントというのは宝探しのことだ、グアネ。
それくらい知ってるわよ。
小笠原に宝物なんてあるのか？
埋蔵金みたいなやつ？
Everyone had a clueless expression, myself included. But that didn't shake Emily's resolve one bit.
あるわ。海に沈んでる。でも引き上げる方法がわからなくて、それで海を眺めて考えてたのよ。
どんな宝物なのですか？チナは大変興味があります。
それは秘密よ。
何よそれ！もったいつけず言いなさいよ。
宝をめぐる争いを避けるためにあえて秘密にしているのでは。
It seemed as if everyone's concern for Emily's well-being had unknowingly moved to the treasure's well-being. And it was only growing more intense.
海って言っても広いぞ。
それに島にはダイバーも多いから大抵の海は調べ尽くされてるわね。
Do you know where in Ogasawara this treasure is supposed to be? Emily's brows furrowed in concentration.
白波丸っていう船よ。小笠原の海のどこかに沈んでるはずなの。
All members present except for Emily locked eyes when she mentioned the ship's name.
それはまさか
幽霊船！
幽霊船？
Emily stared at Ryota blankly.
地元でそう呼ばれている沈船よ。
Shipwrecks were essentially the old sunken ships found on the ocean floor. Most of the shipwrecks surrounded the Ogasawara Islands were battleships or freighters hit during the war. Hinko Maru, a freighter requisitioned by the Navy during World War II, was the most well-known shipwreck. The Hinko Maru, a cargo ship built in 1936, damaged and abandoned after a 1944 air raid. Its emergent wreckage has become a popular tourist attraction. It is slowly being worn away by storms and sea currents. It was eventually sunk in an air raid, but now it is one of the most popular tourist attractions on the island.
どこに行けばあるの？ねえ、教えて。
Chisa was a little taken aback by Emily's enthusiasm, but told her all the same.
幽霊船って言ってもお化けが乗ってるわけじゃないわ。嵐のたびに行方をくらませる沈船。だから幽霊船って呼ばれてるの。
Shiranami Maru Part 1, an imaginary cruise ship that sank in the Ogasawara Sea 16 years ago in an area with war and cargo shipwrecks. Strong currents move it around, so locals call it the ghost ship.
嵐の旅に行方をくらませる幽霊船。
残念ながら何年か前に行方不明になったまま今どこにいるかはわからないわ。
よりによって白波丸か。
ずっと作り話だと思ってました。
I still knew nothing about Emily, but I admired her determination to come to this island alone. But I didn't think she'd find anything. She was trying to hunt down a ghost ship, for crying out loud.
私探すわ。幽霊船を見つけるまで家には帰らない。
Chisa looked at her coldly.
次の定期船までまだ日があるわ。それまで好きにすればいいんじゃない？
だな。どうせそれまでは迎えにも来られないし。
Ferries to Ogasawara from the mainland only came once a week, but during the tourist season there'd be one every 3 days. That meant we had to wait 3 days before we could send Emily home.
宿は取ってるのか？まだならうちの親父が手配してくれるって。
宿は取ってない。でもお申し出は遠慮させてもらいます。パパに頼まれて私を監視したいんでしょうけど、そうはいかないわ。
ねえあなた、宿の手配もせずに来たの？
うん、ここって観光地なんでしょ。来ればどうにかなると思って。
今って観光シーズンなのよ。めぼしいホテルはどこも満室。簡単に見つかるはずないじゃない。
そういうものなの？
典型的な旅慣れていない方ですね。
Came the quiet observation from the youngest among us. But unpreparedness was to be expected from a girl who had just run away from home.
もうしょうがないな。知り合いを当たってあげるから。予算はいくらまで大丈夫なの
Emily went suspiciously quiet.
さっきカバンごと所持品全部海に沈んじゃったから1円も持ってない。
As Emily spoke, my eyes flickered over to my grandma. That meant she wouldn't be getting paid for this meal.
それって帰りの切符もなくしたってこと？
Emily nodded. Things looked bleak. And for the most part, it was my fault. I'll handle her hotel expenses. Can you just find her a place to stay?
そうするしかないわね。
なら、うちに泊まるといい。
Grandma had finally stopped glaring and joined the conversation.
聞こえなかったのかい？うちに泊まるといいって言ったんだよ。
本当ですか、おばあ様。
Emily sprang up and took Grandma's hand.
ちょっと、マチコばあちゃん、ヒロキもいるんだよ。
来るなと言ったのに勝手に来た孫なんざ知ったこっちゃないね。草むらででも寝ればいい。
How cruel. Wow, Grandma, nice to know you care.
ヒロ兄がいると何かまずいことでも？
To Chinami, it seemed a simple enough question, but no one was ready to have that conversation yet, so we ignored her.
人生はアドベンチャー。死んだ亭主の口癖だった。ここいらじゃちった名の知れたサーファーさ。
Grandma closed her eyes, smiling as she was remembering the days when Grandpa was still around.
あんた、幽霊船を探して宝物を引き上げるって言ったね。
はい。
アドベンチャーしない人生なんてつまらない。なんだってやりゃいいさ。
りがとうございますおばあ様。
今夜の食事代もつけとくからね。
Without another word, Grandma disappeared into the back of the cafe. Emily was jumping for joy. Judging from their expressions, Ryota and Chisa weren't as thrilled though. Think it'll be okay, Ryota? I wasn't sure how close Ryota's dad and Emily's dad were, but would they be okay with Emily staying in my grandma's place?
マチコバーが言うなら親父も逆らえないだろう。居場所さえ分かってれば向こうに言い訳もできるだろうし。それに面白そうじゃねえか、幽霊船探しなんてよ。
いやまずいでしょ。ひろきまずいよね。
Huh? Well... I guess it's fine. I'll save. Can't
セー
be
ブしと
too
いたぞ。
careful. I think it's fine. Ah, don't worry. It'll be fine. Emily's already agreed to it anyway. I just had to work something out for myself that would be that.
グアネは何をカリカリしているの？
In the end, it was decided that Emily would stay with Grandma until the next ferry arrived. I knew what Grandpa would have said if he'd been here. Life is adventure. Be free and live with no regrets. This is coming from a ladies' man who incurred Grandma's wrath on more than one occasion. Emily, I'm the one that got you into this mess, so if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
ありがとうヒロくん。ヒロくん
And on this night, above the peaceful Ogasawara waters, the sense of danger and of adventure was not far off. What, Chisa? What's wrong, Chisa? You jealous? It's okay. I woke up early and started cleaning the shop. My welcome party the night before had gone a little too wild, and we've got to clean up afterwards. That should be enough. Just then, the face of a shy young blonde girl peeked in. Morning, Emily.
おはよう。
As Emily walked out, her eyes darted about nervously, as if she were checking for hidden enemies. Did you sleep okay?
うん。
What's up?
昨日はごめんなさいありがとう。
Emily bowed deeply, apologizing and thanking me at the same time.
すごく親切にしてくれたのに。私、人見知りなとこあって、ついあんな態度取っちゃって。
Oh, don't worry about it. I'm the one who should apologize. It was my fault she'd fallen into the water. Hopefully, this didn't make her hate the ocean even more.
でも助けに来てくれたわ。
She insisted, her voice becoming nasally and her breathing labored.
昨晩、ベッドに入ってから、あの時のことをよく思い出してみたの。真っ暗な海に沈んでいくのはすごく怖かった。もう死んじゃうってくらい。でもあなたが手を握っててくれて、それで抱きしめてくれたの。
Did I? I was so panicked I barely remember. Of course I remember trying to save her, but in hindsight, jumping into the ocean at night like that was a terrible idea.
私も必死だったから、本当はあんまり覚えてないの。暗闇の中で息もできなくて、 なのに誰かのぬくもりを感じて。すごく安心できたの。改めて思い出すととても嬉しかったからその
Emily looked down, unable to find the right words to express her gratitude for what she had felt. As I watched her, I couldn't help but laugh.
何かおかしなこと言った？
Nothing. It's nothing at all. She put on strong fronts, but deep down she was kind and sincere. At least that's what I thought. I knew better than to say it, so I kept my mouth shut. How about breakfast? Okay then, have a seat. I got Emily seated and went to whip up a simple breakfast in the cafe's kitchen. So, do you like your eggs scrambled or sunny side up?
柔らかめが好き。
You got it. Our quick breakfast included bacon, eggs, toast, and coffee. And this was a cafe, we always had good coffee beans on hand. Though we had a mean grilled fish set too. And I whipped up a salad with vegetables left over from the party. Breakfast is served.
おいしそう。手際がいいのね。
Yeah, I'm pretty handy in the kitchen. I bragged just a bit as I sat down in front of my own plate. Let's eat.
いただきます。
We both fell silent as we enjoyed our meals. Emily seemed to have a reason for coming to the island. And I was really curious about the treasure on this ghost ship she'd mentioned. But I wasn't going to push her if she didn't want to talk about it. More than curious, that would just be downright nosy. As I searched for a topic of conversation, I could see Emily glancing over as if she wanted to ask something. Yes?
あなたって。やっぱりなんでもない。
She stuffed the question bag down along with some bacon and eggs. She was eating much too fast to actually taste anything. Yeah, well, now I have to know.
なんでそんなにいい人なのかって思っただけよ。何か魂胆があるんじゃないかって疑っちゃう。
Something in return. Well, you're not wrong. I want in on this sunken treasure. Emily looked troubled.
分け前をあげられるようなものじゃないわ。
I grinned. No. I want you to let me join the search.
一緒に探してくれるの？
What can I say? I'm a sucker for adventure. Runs in the family. You're headed out after breakfast, right?
どこへ？
Emily stared blankly. You know. How to find the ghost ship? Hey, Chisa.
おはよう。
After breakfast, I took Emily with me to go meet Chisa.
そっちの人もおはよう。
おはよう。
Chisa stared at Emily as the latter fidgeted and avoided eye contact. Chisa didn't seem to care much for her. I was caught in the middle. It was not a pleasant place to be. I thought Chisa would be the best person to help us with the ghost ship hunt.
いいの？
計画性皆無な家出娘を野放しにしておけないでしょ。
Yeah, that's what she told me too.
幽霊船探しなんて面白そうなこと、よそ者だけでやらせてなるものですか。
面白そうなんだ。
So, what do you say?
まあどうしてもって言うなら仲間に入れてあげてもいいわ。
どうしてもなんて一言も言ってないんですけど。
Now. Anyway, where should we start?
情報集めでしょう。相手は海の底なんだから闇雲には探せないわ。
Chisa started walking. A doubtful Emily and I followed after her. Chisa led us to a diving shop on the outskirts of town.
なるほど。
Chisa asked the shop staff and local guys driving by about the whereabouts of the ghost ship. Emily watched from a distance as they talked over a map, her expression worried.
大丈夫なの？客でもないのにお店でこんなことして。
It's probably fine. It is Chisa's family shop after all. Emily took another look around the shop. It was filled with diving suits and equipment. The Ogasawara Islands were famous for diving. This was just one of the many similar shops on the island.
なるほどなるほど。どうもありがとうございました。
Chisa walked back over to us. How'd it go?
やっぱり最後の目撃情報は3年前だね。その後大きな台風が来て行方不明になったみたい。
沈没した船が流されるの？
嵐で流されることはたまにあるけど、大体は壊れてしまうわね。海の中で腐食が進んでどんどん脆くなるから、船を押し流すほどの海流に襲われたらひとたまりもないってのが普通だと思う。
まさか本当に幽霊船ってわけじゃないわよね。
にやり。
何よその顔。
もしかして怖いの？
怖くなんてないわ。幽霊なんて信じてないから。
ニヤニヤ。
腹立つその顔。
Well, Ogasawara does have a lot of ghost stories, seeing as it was the site of several attacks during the war.
そうなの？でも全然怖くなんてないけど。
Emily didn't seem to realize it, but she was gripping the hem of my shirt, clearly shaken.
安心なさい。嵐のたびにあちこちいなくなるから幽霊船って呼ばれてるだけよ。驚かせることはあっても悪さなんてしないから。
With that, Chisa grabbed my arm and pulled me away from Emily, forcing her hand to let go of my shirt. So, where was the last sighting? Chisa opened the map.
この辺りだって。
That's pretty close. If we just had a boat.
おやおや、これは愉快な光景が繰り広げられておりますな。
Chinami was spying on us from between the wetsuits hanging at the back of the shop. Morning, Chinami. What are you doing, you rascal?
おはよう、ヒロ兄。そして金髪のお姉様。
おはよう。
Chinami stared at Emily.
何？
いやいや、お構いなく。とてもお綺麗なお姉様だと思いまして。我がグアネもこれは強力なライバルが出現したなと。
Chisa grabbed Chinami by the scruff of her neck.
何をするグアネ？
くだらないこと言ってんじゃないの。それから誰がグアネだ。
話せ。退屈な島暮らしでエンターテインメントに飢えてるんだ。
Chisa led the struggling Chinami to the back of the shop.
青い瞳の綺麗なお姉さん、チナはあなたの味方ですから。
ありがとう。何なのあの子。
She's definitely different, but she's shy like you. So maybe she felt some kind of kinship.
私別に変な子じゃないわ。人見知りだけど。
I didn't mean it in disrespect. Anyway, she's a good girl, so don't mind her.
わかった。ヒロ君が言うなら。
Chisa came back and stared at Emily and I.
ちょっと失礼。
Chisa bumped Emily out of the way and stood next to me.
さあ行きましょうか。
修羅場の予感。
Chisa and I took Emily to Omoto Beach. Amongst all the visitors to the beach, we were the only ones not in swimsuits standing on the edge of the water.
もしかしてここから泳いでいくの？
Emily had gone stiff. I doubt it.
あ、来た来た。おーい。
Chisa started signaling out toward the water. A small boat-like object could be seen coming in from the open sea.
おーっせ。
Ryota was paddling toward us. Chisa and I waded out to meet him and pulled the boat up to the sand. So, this is your boat, huh, Ryo?
おうよ。
何これ？変な形。カヌーみたい。
見たいじゃなくてカヌーよ。
Chisa added frankly. It was much larger than your average canoe. On the beach sat a canoe with long arms stretched out on either side of the hull like the legs of a water bug.
アウトリガーカヌーって言うんだ。しかも特注品のな。
アウトリガー？
That's what the arms to either side are called. They keep the canoe stable and less likely to capsize.
船外機もついてるんだぜ。
本当だ。モーターボートなんだ。
Canoes were almost always paddled by hand. This one had an engine. I assume that's what Ryota meant by customized. Ryo, what do you even do with this thing?
釣りするために買ったんだが、手漕ぎで沖まで出るのは大変だからな。船外機を取り付けたんだ。でも家の仕事を手伝うようになって忙しくてな。釣りする時間もあんまりねえんだわ。
Ryota had been helping out the family business ever since he graduated high school.
なんで好きに使ってくれ。チサ、お前操縦できるよな。
うん。こないだ2級免許取らされた。
Chisa's house was, as we've seen before, a diving shop. It not only rented out equipment, but also offered scuba diving courses and dive trips. And to take guests out of the diving spots, they needed to run motorboats. Chisa was only 16, but she had gotten a small boat license to help with the family business.
さあ、乗って乗って。
大丈夫なの？この船。
Thanks, Ryo.
おう、気をつけてな。お宝見つけたら俺にも分け前頼むぜ。
All three of us climbed into the canoe and headed out to sea. An outrigger canoe rides closer to the water than most boats, so like gliding across the surface of the water. Because there is so little resistance at the surface, it had the smoothest ride. It felt amazing. But even so,
大丈夫なの？このカヌー？
Emily was crouched low in the canoe, holding onto the edge of the hull for dear life.
大丈夫だって言ってるでしょうか。
The boat swayed as it rode over a small wave, and Emily let out a scream as she almost fell overboard. Here we go, I said as quickly offered her hand.
ありがとう。
I wasn't surprised by her anxiety. It was her first time on a boat this small after all. Emily squeezed my hand tightly and didn't seem likely to get let go. His actions seemed to be completely subconscious, so I just let her be. You seemed so strong and sure of yourself back on land. Emily started sulking as I teased her.
海は特別よ。陸に上がれば怖いものなんてないわ。
さっき幽霊にビビってたくせに。
Speaking of, why do you hate the sea so much?
サメがいるからよ。
Emily whispered as she lost all color.
昔、サメの映画を見て以来、海を見ると思い出すの。
Oh, that really famous one?
まあ確かにあれは怖かったわね。私もしばらく海に入るときビビってたもん。
そう、サメがトルネードに乗って飛んでくるやつ。
That one?
何それ知らない。なんでサメがトルネードで飛ぶの？
Yeah. That one isn't quite what you'd call famous. It's a rather infamous B movie. These days, sharks are second only to zombies in the B movie hierarchy. These days, sharks are turning into robots, or zombies were going to space. I get sharks being scary, but how could that movie make you be scared of the whole ocean?
それだけじゃないわ。海は暗くて底が見えないし、なんだか嫌な匂いがするし。
Chisa and I looked at each other.
どこの海の話してんだか。
Anyway, where are we now?
ね。
Chisa checked our location on the map.
もうちょいかな。
Looking around, I realized we were pretty far from land. And when Emily noticed, she almost burst into tears.
ねえ、こんな小さな船でこんな海の真ん中まで来ちゃっていいの？帰れなくなるんじゃ。本当に大丈夫なの？
この程度余裕。私のご先祖様はこういう船で太平洋を渡ったんだから。
どういうこと？
知らない？ポリネシア人はカヌーで太平洋を渡ってハワイや日本にまで来たって。
It sounded hard to believe, but it was true. People had crossed the ocean in canoes. And naturally, this was before engines.
じゃなくて、あなたのご先祖様って。
ああ、そっち。何代か前のご先祖様にハワイから来た移民がいたんだって。その人たちが日本人と結婚して子供を産んでまた誰かと結婚してというのを繰り返して私がここにいるわけ。
Oops, I did that too early. Originally, the Ogasawara Islands were uninhabited. People from all over just ended up here and started living together. There are even people with Western ancestry, just like you.
そうなんだ。
They're of mixed heritage, right?
パパが日本人で、ママはアメリカ人よ。ママのご先祖様は北欧から渡ってきたって言ってた。
I guess you and Chisa both come from people that cross the sea. Many years ago, before computers helped with navigation, people risked their lives during sea voyages. Quite the adventure. And two descendants of those adventures were here now. But these two were nothing compared to my grandpa, especially when it came to crossing the seas.
アウトリガーカヌーは漁にも使われてたから物はたくさん積めるし簡単には転覆しない。安定感抜群よ。だから その手をいい加減離しなさい。
When Chisa pointed out, Emily turned bright red and let go of my hand. Get scared again. Cute girl like you is always free to take my hand. Whack. Ow!
調子に乗るな。
Chisa attacked me with this paddle. Even if she wasn't being serious, I'd appreciate it if she didn't use a weapon.
たく、もしかしてあんたら家でもそんな調子なんじゃないでしょうね。どうなのよ、そこんとこ。
Not at all.
どうして？
Emily suddenly looked embarrassed. Well, for one, Emily sleeps on the second floor.
うん。
And that stubborn old granny has insisted that I sleep on the floor in the cafe on the first floor.
ごめんね、ヒロ君。
Ah, don't worry about it. It's not your fault. Besides, staying in the shop is kind of what I want anyway.
ふむ。ならばよし。
What was that supposed to mean?
ちなみにアウトリガーカヌーは凪の海でしか使えないの。
なぎって？
Like the sea is now at very few waves.
小笠原の夏の海は穏やかだからね。夏前はめちゃめちゃ荒れたりするけど。
Emily seemed to relax as we talked, and she continued guiding the canoe on toward our destination.
この辺りだわ。
She stopped the motor, then bent over to thrust her face into the water to have a look around.
見当たらないわね。
Are you sure this is the spot?
うん。あそこに大きな岩があるでしょ。
She pointed down into the water. But it was so deep I couldn't see anything.
あそこに引っかかってたって言ってたから。
There were a lot of strange rock formations on the seabed, so it's a popular spot for divers. The ship was last seen here 3 years ago, right before a typhoon hit. There is no reason to believe it would still be here. But then Chisa suddenly started undressing.
Oi.
Chisa gave her clothes to Emily. She was wearing a swimsuit underneath.
何する気？ちょっと見てくる。
And with that, Chisa jumped into the water.
いいの？こんな深いところであの子溺れちゃうんじゃ。
Ah, she's in her element. Before long, we lost sight of Chisa as she disappeared into the darker depths of the sea. We sat in the canoe, the silence overwhelming now that the engine had stopped.
このままあの子が戻ってこなかったら。
I don't have a boat license, and I have no idea how to start this thing. Emily was on the verge of tears as she started to shake her head.
やだ、そんなのやだ。こんなところで死にたくない。
I'm just messing with you. We got paddles, so if we work together, we could get back to land.
優しい人だと思ってたのに、案外意地悪なのね。
Anyway, there's no way Chisa would drown in water this calm. Just as I said this, Chisa's head popped out of the water. How'd it go? Chisa shook her head.
どこにも見当たらない。
I see.
一応そこのお嬢さんにささやかな朗報よ。壊れた船体の破片も見当たらなかったから、ここで海の藻くずになったってわけじゃなさそうね。
じゃあまだどこかにあるかもしれないってこと？
かもってだけよ。 可能性は限りなく低いわ。ひろき、手貸して。
I took Chisa's hand and pulled her up. But then, a strangled noise escaped from Emily's lips, and she starts smacking my shoulder. Ow, ow, ow. What is your problem? Ah, the boy has arrived, but I'll save that for the next episode. If you are enjoying this video, please leave a like, comment what you think so far, what your favorite girl is, or dolphin. And if you want to watch more of this visual novel, please take a look at the playlist down below. And if you want to watch other visual novels, please check my channel down below. Thank you, and take care.